Of famous buildings and places in Boston. And we have a special guest here, Nancy Roman, who's raising her hand. She is the woman who created those needlepoint images. So I'm going to step up there, see if I can get by. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Then we'll do their project, and then I'm going to talk to Nancy about our program for the others. So who's up here?
Yes.
I don't know what, you don't study all of these like you study the state symbols. We're going to tell you a little about them and see if you might know the answer. Does anybody recognize that picture up on the left? It's called Quincy Marketplace. And everybody knows Quincy. The Quincy family gave its name to your city. One of the members of the Quincy family, Josiah Quincy, was elected mayor of Boston. And he built the Quincy Marketplace, which is that granite building. Before that, it was really a mess there. Merchants would come and they would sell things. They would sell things like chickens, live chickens. They would have cattle there, and they would have fruits and vegetables. And it was really bad. People were getting sick with it. So the mayor decided to fill in the land and build a marketplace out of granite so it would be healthier. And we still have it there. It's called Quincy Marketplace. Some of the granite for that came from Quincy, but some of it also came from Chelmsford. There are different tones of granite. So that's one of the images. Second image, does anybody recognize that one? The Golden Dome. We've been talking about state symbols, which are done up at the State House in Boston. So have any of you been to visit the State House? Yeah, that's an image of it right at the top with the Golden Dome. And you can see the Charles River there, people were sailing. So that's the second image. Third one is the Trinity Church in Boston. And you may not know of that. Do you know of that?
I haven't been there, but in the picture is my dad's work.
You do recognize it, the picture?
Yeah.
You know, have you been to the Thomas Crane Public Library in Quincy? Sure you have. Does that look at all like it? It's the same architect. His name was H.H. Richardson. So that's a famous building in Boston, and you have a very famous library building in Quincy also. The Back Bay. And remember I mentioned that some of the land was filled in? That land was once marshy, and when the tide came in, a lot of garbage would be there, and they covered it all with land. And now there are a lot of buildings there. So if you ever go down places like Commonwealth Avenue, Newbury Street, you'll see buildings like the ones on the left. And that's the Back Bay. The next one you might know. Does anybody recognize what that image is? I think you had it in your program this morning. Do you know? Say it again. Yeah, it's right next to Boston Common, but that's close. It's called the Boston Public Garden. You know that? And does anybody know the story that you heard about this morning that relates to that? What is the Make Way for Ducklings? Yeah, that's where that takes place. So you might enjoy going there. You can take a ride on the swan boats if you do. Have you been on the swan boats? Yeah, it's a beautiful place to go. So that's a picture of the Boston Public Garden. And then finally we have an image of Beacon Hill. Do you know where that is? That's where the State House is. Do you know of it? Yeah, and it's a very beautiful neighborhood. This particular place is called Louisburg Square. Back in the colonial times, there was a battle where troops went from Massachusetts up to Canada, and they conquered a fort called Louisburg. It was owned by the French. And it was such a famous victory that they later named the square after it, but they call it Louisburg Square.
The gardens, and you see the swan boat, I said, oh, I remember them. I said, I saw a picture of it. And you know,